Paramania Radio. Hosted by forensic psychologist Sarah Soderlin and paranormal investigator David Erickson. State of Mind is a show that features mentalism, mystery, and modern psychology with twists of cognitive process and challenges of the mind. News, discoveries, banter, and guests that talk all things fascinating. Join them every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on paramaniaradio.com.
So it's Monday.
Yeah.
And what do we always do on Monday?
Well, duh. We go there.
Where at?
Paramania? How long you been doing this?
Well, long enough, but we need to let other people know.
I know you'd be like,
this is Teresa, and please come join us for Sit, Chat, and Laugh with the Lynches. Jay will
and
make
this
you
is
laugh.
Jay. Hey, y'all, this is Big Dumb Redneck. Come listen to us here on ParamaniaRadio.com.
I'll get out my stones and my crystals and make you feel all tingly inside.
And I'm about as sensitive as a rock.
You are a rock.
This party's one. What time?
7 to 9 p.m. Where are you at?
I'm right here. I'm
Why?
sitting next to you. You're looking at me.
I'm not like being in the studio with you. You do bad things.
Oh, no, not all the time. You guys come and listen to us.
I
on
would.
ParamaniaRadio.com.
I would, because she's funny.
Monday nights, 7 p to 9 p.
Eastern Daylight Time. ParamaniaRadio.com.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Paramania, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
You are listening to Paramania Radio.
You're listening to the Parasearch UK radio show with your hosts Kerry Greenaway and Jay Lynch, right here on Paramania Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Parasearch UK radio show. I don't know who the hell I am, but I know I got two beautiful women with me tonight. I got Teresa and Kerry. Hi, Kerry. How are you, sweetie?
Absolutely fine, thank you. I'm so glad you're back.
I'm not.
I've missed you.
I've missed you on the air and all that stuff, but New Orleans was absolutely. Yeah, I could almost. Yeah, I could almost stay there.
Yeah. Although I don't want to do the
lovely?
heat. They said it gets really, really hot down there.
That's what you really got air conditioning for.
So I don't think I could do the heat.
And we've got Dave with us as well, don't forget.
Hello, Dr. Dave.
Hello,
Let's get to him.
Dave.
That big sexy man beast you.
Hello, everyone. How you doing down there?
Going to Teresa, hot and steamy, but hey. Oh, she's talking about New Orleans and the weather.
Yeah, I was talking about New Orleans.
My bad. My bad.
So guys, first of all, tell us why you went to New Orleans.
Teresa, would you like to take this one?
We were at Haunted Bourbon Paracon. We were actually invited.
Listen how nice and polite she sounds and stuff about it. I'm all pumped up. She's all like, we were at Haunted Bourbon.
Shut up. We were at the Haunted Bourbon Paracon and met some wonderful friends. It's kind of funny how sometimes you meet someone and it's like your energies just mesh and like you've known them for a long time.
Yeah.
That's how we felt down there with another couple that we met from Arizona, Marie and Jay Yates. And we had an absolute blast with them.
Absolutely phenomenal people.
Yeah.
They are. They have been involved with the paranormal for a while. Jay's got a phenomenal story of personal encounters and everything. And we'd love to get him on the show sometime and talk about it.
And we will.
Oh, yeah, we will. And they've been on several of the shows. I think they've even been on Ghost Adventures a couple of times and stuff. And they've been on the Haunting or something. He's telling a story. But phenomenal people. Absolutely phenomenal. Do some wonderful things. Their group is called Cops. See, I must give this up. I have to go to their page.
It's COPS, but I can't remember what it stands for.
Oh, see how you are? You want to bring it up and enter on, not have the information ready? See, this is why you and Kerry should do a show together, because you guys get the brains. I don't know what the hell I got.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Crossing Over Paranormal Society.
Right. See, I was going to screw that if I didn't watch what I was saying. But phenomenal people. You need to go check them out. I'm serious. You guys looking for somebody to book on your shows over there, either on Paramania or on Parasearch, I would recommend them highly.
Yeah.
They got a lot of good stories to tell and stuff. But it was a good weekend. I mean, where do you want to start at? I mean, it's just amazing.
Start at the beginning, my sweetness.
Oh, back when I was a little bitty tadpole swimming up the canal.
Maybe not that far back.
Not that far back, Jay. Not that far back.
Yeah, no. No one wants to hear about that story.
I got suckered into being in a vehicle trapped with Jay and Richard both for 13 hours.
Excuse me? It was supposed to be 13 hours. I made it in 12 and a half.
Oh,
that's including 4 gas breaks and 2, as Kerry likes to call them, comfort stops.
Actually, the only comfort stop that we made, other than when we stopped to get gas, was at the rest areas, the welcome centers, when we went into each state. Jay has a fetish for maps.
Jay doesn't have a fetish for maps. Jay just had this harebrained idea and thought it was funny that we stopped in every state on the way down there, and I got because every welcome center has free maps of each state, so I got me a map of every state except for Mississippi and Alabama, because Mississippi and Louisiana.
Mississippi didn't have one.
Mississippi didn't have any.
Fit.
Yeah, I was not
slacking.
Happy.
I feel Mississippi.
Bastards. Oh my gosh, he threw a fit. Yeah, Facebook Live from the welcome center.
Yep,
in the middle of the night.
Yep, about 2:00 in the morning, I did a Facebook Live complaining about how Mississippi sucked, that they did not have a map like everybody else, and it pissed me off.
There's a whole fearful to go, but it was empty.
But here's a call out to Mississippi. Jay needs a map of Mississippi. Right? So if you have one, send it.
I've been right where you are, Jay. I've been right where you are.
See, it's just bullshit. And of course, time we got to Louisiana, it was late. I was tired, so I didn't stop again.
Hey Jay, I have a theme song for you to sing, but maybe we should do it on air. Never mind. I'll tell you about it off air.
But that entails another thing. I know Kerry won't understand this, but what was the song that you learned as a child to learn how to spell Mississippi?
Ooh, I know.
They didn't teach you a little song, Dave?
No. I'm trying to think of a song. I just learned how to spell it.
M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback I.
That's how they taught us to spell it here in the Ohio, Kentucky area when we was growing up. Now,
I didn't realize that was a song. I thought that was just the way
there's a way to sing it. I mean, they always sang it to a cadence when we were kids.
Yeah.
Of course, Rick was being from Northern Ohio, which is Michigan South. He was like M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. I'm like, man, don't you know the song? He's like, are you serious? That's a song? I'm like, God dang.
Where have you been kind of moment?
It's like, where the hell did you raise? Oh, I forgot. He's in Michigan South. We was raised in Kentucky North.
Right.
I was raised in Maryland, so you have to excuse me.
There's not a whole lot of excuse. No, I'm just kidding.
There really isn't.
So, but it was absolutely phenomenal. We have neither one of us had ever been that far. That's the furthest trip I've ever. Teresa's been farther from the house,
I've been to
but
Texas.
That was the farthest trip I'd ever been from Ohio in my life. So it was a big deal for me to get a drive. Now, on the way back, I will say that we went from being 13 hours down, we made it down there in 12 and a half. And on the way back, we made more stops, and I made it in 12 hours.
Ah, so you really put your foot to the gas.
Yes, he did.
Oh, yeah. Teresa took a little nap, and Jay was... Let's put it this way. I have a perfect record at this point in time. There's not a state in the union that I have been to that I have not broke a law.
That's been recorded. How many miles are we talking about now?
Almost 1,700 miles, a little over 1,700 miles total round trip.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was a lot of driving.
Yeah.
And oh my God, parking down there. Oh, we got down there to
if you're going to New Orleans, park your vehicle outside of town, take an Uber or something like that.
Yeah, whatever you do.
$40 a night to park your vehicle.
Wow.
Night.
Yeah, that was unreal. And we didn't know that it was going to be like that. So when we finally got down there, the first day we were waiting for Sasha and her fiance Dave to meet us. They were going to tour us around downtown. And we're like, where could we park? We were driving down the French Quarter. Jay was having a meltdown. People are walking out in front of him. It was getting bad. So finally we headed back out and we stopped. There's a Harrah's Casino right by the river. And there's a big parking lot across from there. So we go to, all right, there's plenty of parking here. Let's pull in here. Well, it was $40. It was $39 and change. And we were like, just do it. I don't, at this point, it's like, I don't care. So even with doing parking there, and that was $40.
And walking.
And then after you park there, you either have to walk 17 freaking blocks to get to where you need to be. And I'll tell you about that in a minute because I was so mad.
No, but
you could take the little trolley.
Trolley only runs up and down Canal Street.
It just runs one way and comes back the other.
But if you want to go down there to New Orleans, and if you're looking to go down there and you're looking to shop or you're looking to eat, walking is the way to go.
Yeah.
And anybody that does drink, you're like, oh, you want to go to Bourbon Street, get drunk? You don't have to go to Bourbon Street. There is no open container laws down there. You can walk down any street, anytime, anywhere in the city of New Orleans and have an open beer, open mixed drink, whatever you want to. Any time of the day or night, there is no open container laws.
Except that you're required to have an open container.
Right, pretty much.
Right.
And they have drive-through bars.
Oh, my gosh.
Not drive-throughs.
Like how we have McDonald's drive-through?
You could pull up to the window. They call them daiquiri bars. You could pull up and order a daiquiri. You could order a Beam and Coke, a shot of whiskey, whatever you wanted. And they would hand you your drink through the window.
With a lid on it.
And they would hand you a straw. And as long as you do not put the straw inside the container, the drink, it is not an open container. So all the locals just say you take your straw, you throw it over your shoulder in the back seat, drink it out the side of the glass, and go on.
Well, they said you learn how to drink it out of that little part that you put the straw in.
As long as you do not put the straw in the drink, it is not an open container.
Which was just amazing to me.
Yeah, I'm a bit blown away by that.
Oh, I was too. And I'm like,
imagine
if I'd have been younger when I was drinking a case a day, what would have happened? I'd had DUI after DUI because I ain't got an open container. I'm shit-faced drunk and getting a DUI.
But I don't have an open container.
But you can't get me for open container too.
You're walking around everywhere, and people are just going in and out of businesses with their beverage of choice in their hand, walking around, and it's no big deal. And I did not see anybody drunk.
That's because they're permanently drunk. The sounds of it is like a permanent state of mind.
You're around Street. That was that, but the rest of the town, no, it really wasn't. And that was the biggest city I'd ever been to too. I'd never seen maybe homeless people or beggars, and which was bad because this one guy saw our group coming, and he sat down real quick. Me and Rick saw him, and he sat down real quick. And as soon as we got up there close to him, he took his hat and had his hat off, his hand sticking out there. So of course, when he did that, me and Rick popped from behind Teresa and a couple of the other people that were walking with our hats held out at him. He cussed us.
Oh, yeah. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, what is the vibe of New Orleans? I mean, you went at a really busy time, didn't you? There was an awful lot going on in New Orleans when you were there.
It was just like nobody cared what they did.
Especially on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
There's almost no...
On Bourbon Street.
There's no nudity. They do have the cops regulating that. But here you go. You got people walking up down the street, and almost every corner there's a Louisiana State Trooper or a New Orleans policeman on almost every corner. Yeah. And people are just up and down, singing, screaming, hollering, drinking, falling down, peeing on the corner.
Yeah.
And as long as they didn't act extremely belligerent or get violent, they did nothing. Just let them go.
Wow.
And
it was...
And, you know, a couple weeks ago on our show, on Sit, Chat, and Laugh with the Lynches, we had Lord Chaz on there, who is a amazing gentleman.
We got to meet Lord Chaz.
If you ever go to New Orleans and you're wanting to take a history tour, he doesn't call them tours, he calls them shows. He dresses the part. Yeah. He has a giant, he's 6 foot something tall. He wears a big top hat. He looks like a vampire. He sounds like a vampire. I mean, just his voice. But he's a storyteller. He narrates it. He calls them history tours. He calls them history shows. He's an amazing storyteller. But a thorough historian. He knows
vampire tour theater.
Well, and he just calls them history tours or history shows. And it's Lord Chaz and crew You can find them on Facebook and stuff. You can also go to lordchaz.com. But if you're ever going to New Orleans and you want to get a history tour, there's all kinds of history and tour companies down there. I will stand behind Lord Chaz in a heartbeat and recommend him. He doesn't, like most of the times you go on one of these history tours, like, well, in 1873, this happened here, and that happened there.
He told a complete story.
Well, he tells the history. He also tells you the urban legend that goes along with it. And he leaves your imagination to fill in the blanks or to fill in what you think, which one you want to believe more. But he gives you the facts. He gives you he's even went to the police station and dug up the old police archives and things like that. And
he did his own research.
He does amazing research. I would love to have him as a historian on my paranormal team.
Yeah.
If he's very thorough, his team is very thorough. But when they present you with something, and when they take you on a tour, it's $25 for like an hour and a half, 2 hour tour. That's cheap. And you get history that was just like Max said in the chat room about how they recycle or how they rent you your graves. That's not exactly true. Those tombs are concrete, and the coffin they put you in is solid lead. And your body stays in that coffin for 1 year and 1 day. By law, it has to stay in there that long. On the second 1 year and 2 days, they actually take your body out. But because of its solid lead, and on top of that concrete mortuary, and the heat is so bad down there that usually all is left is a few bone fragments, some teeth, and some dust. They take all that out, they put it in a burlap bag, and put it towards the bottom. And
put it in the bottom crypt is what he called the very bottom of it. So they recycle the tombs.
But it actually does a natural style of cremation.
Yeah.
Using the natural heat and sun and stuff from the heat down there. But with it being solid lead and inside that concrete, it gets a godly amount of temperature. And within 1 year and 1 day, your body will reduce to pretty much nothing but ashes, a few bone fragments, and teeth, and they'll put it inside a burlap bag and then put it underneath. And
then you, as he said, you mingle with your family for the rest of your eternity.
Yeah, so it's amazing.
Did you do one of his tours while you were there?
We did two.
Oh, you did too?
Well, Friday night we were contractually obligated. Thank God, that was so cool to say that. Yes, contractually obligated to go into public stuff. Me and Teresa and Rick and Jason. Arthur was with us, Jason Schneider. So we was part of that. Was part of our thing to go down there and stuff and to interact with the people that bought tickets and stuff.
Oh, and that night I got to try absinthe.
Yeah.
What did you make of absinthe?
It sucked.
Jason drank.
It messed Jason up. But it was I don't care for licorice. And it's a where you get it at down there is a little pirate's bar. It's a little hole in the wall. And I walked in. It was one of the stops, the bar stops that we did. And I walked in and there was 4 people sitting on the corner of the bar, and they were all drinking the same drink. It looked like a lemon drop. It was a yellow color. And I asked the gentleman, I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, excuse me. I said, I don't mean to be rude or bother you, but you're all drinking the same thing. What are you drinking? It must be good. I'm just curious.
No, it ain't. It's just they're stupid.
And he says, why? He says, ma'am, we're drinking absinthe. And if you're in New Orleans and you're in this bar, this is what you should be drinking too. I said, okay, I'll take one. So I said, well, what does it taste like? And God love him, this is how the people are down there.
Terrible.
He didn't know me from Adam, and he offered me a drink of his drink. And I said, no, that's okay. I'll get my own. It was, they literally pour this alcohol in the bottom of the glass, and then they put the strainer on the top and put a sugar cube and put it under this container that has like little spigots on it. And they barely turn the spigot open to where it's dripping, and the absinthe, which is in there that is being chilled at the time, it drips onto the sugar cube to help dilute that absinthe taste a little bit. And by the time that the sugar cube is diluted and it's gone, it's in the drink, then your drink's ready. They shake it up and hand it to you.
Oh, wow.
But it was very licorice taste, and I don't care for licorice. But
Jay no taste it.
I had to get one.
Jay just scolded.
I didn't drink hardly at all.
No.
I drank maybe 4 beers the first night we were in there. And,
I had more than that.
Spirits on bourbon. And the second night we were in there, I think I maybe had 4. Well, actually probably 5 or 6. That was the night of the pub crawl and stuff. But other than that, I didn't drink until Saturday night when we was at the hotel room. No, I drank like 5 or 6 beers. I went to New Orleans to eat my way through the city, and I put a hell of an effort into it.
Yeah.
I had jambalaya for breakfast twice.
The first hotel that we were at had this little city diner in front of it that had fantastic food. So we get there, we get in really late. It was like 3 a.m. or something when we
Max
get there.
in the chat room said it was actually the P from earlier customers at Absinthe.
Now
And
I
guessed
understand.
that it was liquor of the fairies. It was liquor of something, all right. 'Cause it was nasty shit. I'm going with Max's answer.
But Jay got jambalaya that night, or that morning for breakfast.
Yes.
When we got up, and then you got it again
else.
later on that day.
Yes. I got gumbo too.
And
I
then
got
you
jambalaya
had
again. I got frog legs.
you had frog legs.
Somebody said, "You want a burger or fries?" I'm like, "Why would I eat something I can get to
Yeah.
house? Why would I eat that? I can go home and get burger and fries." So, but yeah, it was an absolutely amazing time. And like I said,
And then Saturday night, we went to that little bar, Mulat's, where you got the frog legs
restaurant.
Yeah, and they had a Cajun band there playing. I don't know how you pronounce it, Zydeco music, and it was really cool.
and it was a
you got
family atmosphere.
yeah,
A
it
lot
was
of kids
family
right on the
atmosphere.
floor dancing and stuff.
It was really neat.
It was amazing. But yeah, it was. New Orleans is an amazing place. I'll see Bourbon Street again next year because it'll probably be part of our contract again, which that's cool. But the rest of the time, I want to see like the Garden District, more the French Quarters. Once you get away from Bourbon Street, a couple of blocks over and stuff, it's totally different, and amazing. Teresa just freaked out and paused, spinning. She just got dizzy talking about all this fairies and stuff and absinthe.
So when you did the walks, I want to go back more onto the spooky side of New Orleans. When you did the walks, did you go around one of the cemeteries?
No, not on that one. That walk was down on the French Quarter.
Okay.
It's more on the outskirts of town and stuff. We did go by the original Jesuit nuns. What do you call them or something like that? It was the original church that first settled in New Orleans.
It was the same nuns that are up in that have the one in Toledo, Jay.
I can't remember the name of it.
Some
kind of strand, or I can't what the kind
strand.
of the strand. Some of nuns that they were down there, and that's where the entire vampire legends got brought into New Orleans.
Trying to say Jesuits.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I thought it was, but Teresa keeps telling me I'm wrong.
No, that's wrong.
I'll call Lord Chaz up real quick. You got his number. Give him a call. See what it was. No, wait a minute. He's on a tour right now. Don't call him. So, but it's amazing, and the history of it and stuff, and the French Quarter thing. And he also took us up Pirate
Ursuline
Island.
nuns.
Ursuline nuns. See, Jesuit Ursuline. It was close.
Not even remotely, Jay.
They were in my mind. But it was amazing how the entire vampire thing, because the men outnumbered the women in New Orleans at that time, back when it was still a French settlement, like, what do you say, 5-1, 10-1? And, of course, a lot of them was French settlers over here. It was actually the convicts and everything over there. So they started bringing women over to colonize and help, populate the colony. Mm-hmm. But they were usually prostitutes and things like that. Destitute women of France that they would bring over here. But every woman that came over with them brought a coffin with them.
Lord Chaz says, I know you women pack heavy, but you don't need to pack a coffin.
But the crime rate and death rate went up in the city when they started coming over here. And some of those coffins...
The death rate.
Yeah, and some of those coffins are still locked away by the bishop of New Orleans, and the modern-day bishops still keep it. They're locked up at the top of that church.
And they will not allow anybody in
and
there.
They're sealed. And instead of, you got dormer windows and stuff to let the heat out, these got solid wooden doors with iron bars across them to keep the windows locked.
Mm-hmm.
They're sealed in that church to this day. Some of the coffins are. So that kind of got the thing about the women coming over here, and all of a sudden the death rate went up.
They
brought coffins with them, and now the coffins are sealed inside the church, and it just adds the mystique and the legend of it all.
Yeah, for years and years, they've had people that have had sightings of dark figures coming out of the windows
There's actually
there was a paranormal team.
2 girls died. They were found on the sidewalk dead after investigating around that area with 90% of the blood out of their body. Now, even if you try to bleed somebody out, your veins collapse and stuff like that, you try to pump it out, your veins collapse up. But for some reason, they found it with 90% of their body, blood was missing out of their body. And the wall, they went back to rebuild the wall down there.
They've got a white. Well, it's white now. I don't know.
But it's a wall. It's circled around the property, and they moved it back because they wanted to widen the streets and all this stuff, but sidewalks. And then
they noticed it was leaning.
They was getting ready to do that, and when they dug it up, it was actually on top of hundreds of bodies of children, babies.
Human body, yeah.
Babies.
Oh gosh.
That's why the wall was tipping, because his bodies were actually decaying and crushing in.
Yeah, and it was like subsiding.
That's how thorough Lord Chaz and his crew gets with their investigations. They go through all historical records, they go through all police records. Everything. It's amazing. I'm telling you, he's one of the last. Him and his crew are probably some of the last storytellers left that actually live it. They're passionate about it. You hear it, and when we interviewed him 2 weeks ago on Sit, Chat, and Laugh, he was just amazing to interview.
Yeah.
Because he got theatrical with even discussing about some of this stuff, and
he is very theatrical when he talks.
He's a storyteller,
and I still haven't figured out when he did the.
He could actually make it. You could feel his pulse, and it'll stop. He'll stop his pulse. We looked at him watching him for over 3.5 hours, and the man never blinked one damn time the entire time. We had 15 people watching him. Not once did anybody catch him blink one single time in 3.5 hours.
Wow.
And then he has very long black fingernails, and as he's talking to you through the tour, he was sharpening the first two nails.
Dug him into his arm, started bleeding.
And then he's at the end of the tour where we stopped at, he was talking, he says, he takes those 2 fingernails and he does on the inside of his forearm and just moves them and digs them into his skin until he bleeds.
Oh.
And then
he tells you a story about the vampire legends and stuff.
Yeah, he's telling you a story the whole time he's doing this. And then he pulls out, after he talks about this, and he's got rivers. I mean, it's like
it's run from the middle of his arm all the way down to his hand.
So he takes.
Oh, it's not got like something. It's not got like a like a latex.
Yeah, I felt
with a blood patch.
But once he ties it up with a bandana, once he takes off after about another 10 minutes of talking, there's no more blood, and you can't see where it was done. So I think it's some kind of a trick, but I can't prove it.
I don't know it.
He's a storyteller.
Yeah.
And he immerses himself into his story and into his character. He really does. He doesn't just do it when it's convenient. He's that way, that person all the time. He's that storyteller all the time. He completely immerses into who he is, and he makes who he is part of his story. And it works so well. I praise the man.
Yeah, he was really amazing.
So now more about the
really cool.
The event was phenomenal. It really was. Sasha Clanat and David Bordeaux. No, Bordeaux. He hates to be called Bordeaux. It's actually Bordeaux. Rick did that just to make you mad.
Oh.
Yeah, see, I do know how to say his name. I just act like I couldn't all weekend long. Put on a hell of a show. They really did. And like I said, they already booked it for next year. So if you guys got plans for November 9th to 11th, you want to come down to New Orleans, I'll be doing Haunted Bourbon Paracon 2 next year. It'd be amazing. So mark your calendars. But they put on one hell of a show. And it was Scotty Rourke was phenomenal.
Always.
Him and his wife Terry were there. And like I said, Jay and Marie Yates were phenomenal. Could not ask for better people. First time we ever met them.
And they were... We had an instant rapport with them.
That chemistry clicked. Even though I scared the hell out of them when I first come walking around the corner. I hadn't even met them yet. They were standing by the door checking in. As soon as I walked around the corner, it's like, yeah, we're going to see a lot of kind of people down here that we haven't seen before. Like that Jay Yates guy right there. He kind of looked at me and was like, oh, God. It's you. I'm like, yeah, it's me. That's how I introduced myself, by immediately saying, like, that guy right there.
Now, what I couldn't wait to do, the second first night we were there.
First night, second time?
I don't remember. One of those days. I think it was the first day. I could not wait to go into Marie Laveau's voodoo shop.
I was going to ask about that. That was my next question. Tell me all about that.
It sucked.
Oh.
Bourbon Street is commercial as hell.
They had all kinds of... I mean, everything you could have imagined was in there. They have voodoo dolls, tarot cards, candles.
Everything that you could have seen on TV or buy on eBay.
Shut up and let me tell the story.
I told you, Jay.
I like it.
And all the shops, all of them on Bourbon Street used to be houses. So, and they've just transformed them. So when you walk into this building, it's got this, like they had altars, worshiping altars set up, and do not touch, and they had incense going at them and all this. So then when there's
which we got bad luck, we never left an offering.
There's a big counter there for, with the cash register for you to pay for your goods, whatever. And then you walk on back to another room, and they have another counter, and it's got different candles that have been anointed with different things for luck or to find true love, whatever like that. And they had some voodoo dolls there, just different type of amulets. And they had another small counter there with another cash register. Well, in the very back, they had a doorway, which would have it didn't have an actual door, but it went to a hall, like what would have been a hallway going in a house.
Yeah.
And it had a curtain over it. And I was standing there. Rick had left already, and Jay
stayed outside.
So I'm in there.
For no other reason, I looked at the door. I'm like, yay.
So I'm in there. I felt comfortable as could be. Rick felt a little weird in there. The last time he was in there, it made him ill.
Oh, Rick's got an overactive imagination sometimes.
So I'm standing there, and I'm like, okay, there's nothing here. But granted, I didn't touch a lot of stuff, okay? And I'm looking at these on the door frame, going back where this curtain is. It has signs, and I was reading these signs. It was like, do not enter, do not look in, do not peek. That's where they do their rituals and stuff.
Don't take any pictures. No cameras, no this, no that.
This, no that.
You might steal our ideas and make it yourself, and how we're supposed to make money, blah, blah. So it all became down to being very commercialized and all about the money and less about the real voodoo.
Right.
So before his mouth jumped in.
What a dick, Jay.
I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at this, and I'm reading all these signs, and that's all I was really doing was reading the signs and looking.
We call that tracking out in the woods. There's no air in there. The AC wasn't on. There was no window. The curtain literally blows open, almost like inviting me in. Telekinetic power forced it open.
Oh, you're so cynical, Jay. Carry on, Teresa.
I'm just completely ignoring his dumb ass. So I stood there for a second, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And I turned around and walked out.
Because it said do not enter, right?
Yeah, because I'd listen to rules.
That's why I'm glad I wasn't in there, because I'd have walked the hell inside. The door opened. It meant for me to come in. I'm going in.
Couldn't you have asked to go through?
Oh, you're supposed to ask?
You probably could have, but I was I guess I was just shocked that it did that. And I was like, okay, Rick and Jay are neither one here. I'm hanging out here by myself. So I turn around. I just decide I'm not doing it. I turn around. I leave. And a little bit later, I'm like, what's on my stomach? Now, at my waistband, where my pants, the top of your pants are,
yeah,
there's a scratch underneath my waistband of my jeans that started on my left side of my stomach, my waist. Looks like somebody stuck something in it, because you can see where it started. Went all the way across into my belly button and back up and over to the right side.
Okay.
It was just really,
Thank you,
really weird.
Dr. Dave.
And I have no explanation for it whatsoever.
Well,
that's not freaky at all.
But it's just Marie Laveau's shop could be considered neat and cool, and they had some neat things in there. But the whole attitude, they had a guy standing like he was some kind of guard, no phones, no pictures.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to have your phone out to take any pictures.
And just act like such an arrogant douche. And I'm like, dude, really? It's a knick-knack shop. Shut up. It's not like we're back in the back and they're performing a ritual or something like that. We're up here where you're trying to sell me, oh, look, I can buy that same seashell necklace at the beach. And, oh, God, kiss my...
Oh. Weren't impressed then, Jay, by any remote chance?
No, not with the shops on Bourbon Street. They were just they're tourist traps.
There was a lot of,
as I call them tourist traps. They trap you in there.
You get that everywhere. You do get that everywhere.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I expect it to a certain point.
And there were a lot of T-shirt shops and that kind of stuff.
I truly expect it to a certain point, but there's supposed to be certain places like, Marie Laveau's voodoo shop. It could have said Madame Goatnut's voodoo shop. It wouldn't have mattered. It was not so much.
That's what was on that one altar. It was it was a man with a goat head.
A man with a goat head.
Know that you're impressed by finding out and recognizing goat nuts on an altar.
I look at you. I see a goat nut all the time.
I did step into that one, didn't I?
But the one thing we didn't get to do, and Rick tried, was go to Bloody Mary's. Because she's the reigning voodoo queen or priestess or whatever.
Priestess, she's not the queen.
And he tried to get us to go over there, and we just couldn't do it.
He called her. She was busy and couldn't.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is spin around 3 times and say
Bloody
her name.
Bloody Mary.
Well, it's my childishness.
Where we were or something like that.
Is there like a little hierarchy then between these characters in New Orleans?
I think there is.
Like who's performed the best ritual recently and stuff like that.
There's like any other religious organization. There's always a hierarchy.
Well, and they always
anywhere you get people together, they got to have a pissing up the rope match and have a hierarchy. My goat nuts are bigger than your goat nuts. Nah, nah, nah.
And I'm married to the biggest goat nut.
And at the rate Jay's going, next week there'll be a goat with a J head on it in the store.
Right. You don't be disrespectful.
I respect what they believe. I really do. But like I said, the shop had become so commercialized. It was ridiculous to me almost. And they wanted you to act like it was all reverence and everything else. While there's people staggering around with hand grenades and zombie drinks and all this other stuff in their hands, sloshing booze all over the place and stuff. But don't you take no picture. Don't walk through that curtain.
I didn't see anybody walk in with a drink.
Oh, God, everybody had drinks. Rick took his right in with him.
I left mine outside.
Yeah, you left me with yours, but I brought it in and handed it to you because everybody else had theirs. So here I am standing out front and actually I had yours and Rick's drinks. So I got a big-ass tall drink in both hands. I'm not even drinking. Both of you guys I'm like, no, here's your drinks back. Everybody else has got
The problem also is she's world famous, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, Marie Laveau has an absolute world famousness to her. But that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like they weren't even respecting it, what it was supposed to be and stuff. It was all more about beads and trinkets and buy this, flashy, and it wasn't more reverent to me. They weren't even being reverent for being Marie Laveau's voodoo shop. It was just a gift shop, a knick-knack shop, and they were just ridiculous with it. They should, other than the altar, where you never pass a voodoo altar, would not leave an offering unless you want to have bad luck or a curse, but yet do not touch. Now, how the hell am I supposed to put an offering but not allowed to touch it either, you dumbasses? You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, it's not her altar that you're not supposed to do that.
In the voodoo shop.
It's her tomb.
They had it in the same shop, too. That's what they said. If you don't leave if you see a voodoo altar and you don't not leave a gift, even if it's just a penny, that's bad juju. Bad juju. But do not touch. Which is it? Do I have to leave something or am I not allowed to touch a son of a bitch?
Well, I didn't even think about leaving anything.
See? Now we're in trouble. We're not getting bited back next year. You just got bad juju.
Oh, that would
and that might be why you got scratched.
That would have been
scratched. You didn't even think about leaving something.
No, I didn't. I didn't even think about it.
So, but I have absolute reverence for it. But they were disrespectful to it, in my own opinion, because it was nothing more than a souvenir shop, knick-knack shop. But yet they're riding on that name. You can't command reverence and then turn around. Oh, look, beads and trinkets. Bye. It was all about the mighty dollar and not about actual Marie Laveau or voodoo or anything else. It was just a name to draw attention.
They had her picture up where that altar was, too. They had a picture of Marie.
Okay.
It was neat.
And for $5.99 you can buy it too, but for $19.99 you can get it framed.
Oh.
That's the way it was. That was the atmosphere. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thing there. And
Kerry said, okay, so she tried to get my ass out of trouble for me to shut the hell up.
I'm trying really hard here and you're not helping me out, Jay.
What's that?
Okay, so it was a little disappointing the commercialism of that.
All of actual Bourbon Street.
It is what it is. It's a tourist trap.
It's very commercial.
And it's a party.
And it's one huge street party.
2 bottles of beer, Mick Ultra. I bought 2, one for me and one for Jason. $12.50. I could buy a 6-pack for $7.
My Voodoo Kings were $10 each
per drink.
But those had a lot of
for $3.
Mine had a lot of alcohol in them.
Bottom well drink, not top shelf.
It didn't matter.
Buy the shittiest alcohol possible and charge 6 times as much because it's on Bourbon Street.
It was Captain Morgan's.
It's the same sort of thing in any city you go to, though. You go to Chinatown in Chinese New Year, it's horrendously expensive, horrendously commercialized, but it's good fun.
Oh, yeah, it was. I was like picking on Teresa right now. It was absolutely, I enjoyed it, but like I said, I took it for what it was. It's just a big commercialization thing and a place to go party and hoot and holler and stuff. And it's still not as the most expensive party I've ever paid for. That was called college.
Wow. This is true. So going back to the convention that you were at, so what other people were there?
Oh, God. Gavin Kelly and his fiancée, Paula Purcell, they were there from Phantasmic Ghost Hunters. They did a debut of their first episode, a red carpet debut on Sunday. Rick Rose, of course, was there with us. Scotty Rourke, Psychic Medium, was there. The Yates, Jay and Marie Yates were there. Tina Marie Runnan was with us, yes. Which is, we've had her on the show before. She does heirloom and haberdashery and Nature's Earthman. She's also a Reiki master.
Lot of steampunk.
Yeah, she did a class on
meditation
Intuitive stuff.
101.
And Scotty Roy did a class and a workshop on psychic phenomena and mediumship, and then they also did a gallery reading. Him and Sasha did. I actually was privileged as hell to get set on a panel with Scott Tepperman, Jason Schneider, and Rick. It was supposed to be a panel at first, but we ended up just taking it more informal and making it a round table. We just did like a round table and did an open discussion on different topics and questions that people had. It was phenomenal. It was an absolutely amazing experience. Enjoyed it. They actually let us run over a half hour longer than what we were supposed to. Then it ended up 45 minutes longer. Then they felt like, you guys got to go. We got to do a closing ceremony.
But the audience.
What was the hardest question?
None of them were really that hard because it was all so personal. The very first question is what we was asked, and we was asked to do it one at a time to say what was the one piece of equipment that all of us agreed was not worth anything, and every one of us said that the K2 meter was shit.
Okay.
Nobody liked the K2 meter.
Unless it was used as a question and answering thing, but the way people are using it in the paranormal now is it's just junk. It's not designed.
And we've used ours the same way Tepperman said he did,
so
as a yes or no.
So kind of like doing a flashlight session, but you light them up to this color if you was a yes or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So, but it was interesting though. Like I said, it ended up going like almost an hour and a half. We Teresa and them did a live feed on Facebook with it for at least an hour of it. It was interesting because people were actually sitting down and they were actually asking questions. Like Scott was talking about how 90%, in his opinion, 90% of the paranormal field knows that a ghost is here because it's trapped here. It's either trapped here or it's stuck to something or something like that. Where I told class, I disagree. I'm the 1% then that disagrees, and I said I think they're here by choice. The one thing we have is free will, and if you believe in God, God even gives us the free will to deny Him if we choose to. So you're telling me that when our physical body dies, that we lose the free will? And he's like, never thought of that. Good point. But we showed how we could actually have an open discussion, disagree and understand the other one's point of view and respect that.
And it was kind of cool because when Scott was talking and Jay intervened and said, I'm part of that 1% that or the 10% that disagree with you. And I was watching Scott's face because I was sitting up front, and he was actually listening to Jay. He wasn't looking at him, but he was very well listening to him, and he was like, okay. I understand what he's saying. I get what he's saying.
Didn't say he agreed with me, but he understood.
Right, but he understood. He understood why Jay was saying what he did.
And just like I understood his point and the point that he was coming from, I disagreed with him. I respect his viewpoint on it, but I disagree. Big deal. We disagreed. Still, we agreed on a whole bunch of other things. It wasn't a debate. There wasn't an argument or anything like that. It was just it was done very open, like we do here. I mean, we give each other a hard time. We laugh and joke a lot. But there's times that you and I disagree, Kerry, but we do it with dignity. We do it with respect for the other person because we respect the other person.
And we always learn from that as well.
Absolutely.
We always go away and that's what I find when you have those kind of discussions and you go away and it gets your brain matter going. You actually start thinking or researching that opinion, or that's what you need. You need that open-mindedness. You need to have that. If you haven't got that, particularly in this field, because we all work with theories at the end of the day, if you haven't got that open-mindedness, then what's the point?
Right.
Exactly.
So it's good to have those open discussions. It's good to have those kind of disagreements.
And it was good to have us do it in front of a room full of people.
Yeah.
It was actually packed. There was no empty seats. And Maria and Bob Schmidt was there with the World's Largest Ghost Hunt. They did their
did that in tandem.
They were there and did their reveal, and that was cool. And they will be there next year. They're not planning to do the reveal of evidence until January or later because, they've only got 30% of the evidence turned into them so far since September 30th when they did the investigation. But they were there, and it was amazing. They had a good support. They had 5 different teams that was actually a part of the World's Largest Ghost Hunt show up to help with the reveal and be a part of the attendance of it and stuff. So, and they're hoping to even expand on that to make it really a big portion and a way for the teams to all come together and discuss things openly, like the forum that Scott and Jason and Rick and myself set on, and to do more of the panels like that.
Some of the results that they got was actually very interesting.
Absolutely. Paula Westbrook was there too, the one who puts on a haunted Gulf Coast Paracon. She does a Paracon in Mississippi. She was there and stuff, and we finally got to meet her. Very sweet people. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It's a great weekend. Met a lot of great people. Had some very educational things going with workshops and panels and stuff. And I actually had to be semi-intelligent a few times and let my J out and put him away.
He put his smart out a little bit.
Reeled it back. Always good.
But he went out there. But he would not do the meditation part.
Okay.
He didn't want to do that.
I was wired. I was an ADHD hyperactivity overload. There's no way in hell I could. And she's going to do a guided meditation, and I absolutely love and respect Tina Marie Ronan so much. And I'm like, she's like, you got to come and listen to me. I said, Tina, I love you. I don't want you to be mad at me when you kick me the hell out of there because I'm going to be disruptive because I'm too wired right now. I can't do that. She said, what's exactly to meditate? I said, you could probably have me go to the gym right now and run 100 miles and I'd die before I'd calm down. My body would give out, but my mind is just racing with all the questions and things going on and stuff. And there's no way that I'm going to get it to focus right now. I could probably pour. Yeah, I could have done it.
Last time I tried to meditate, I ended up astral projecting, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just like, screw that.
The last time I tried to meditate, I was sitting in the bathtub in there with a sea salt bath and a 6-pack of beer. That was meditating for me.
That's a different way of doing it, everybody.
I got myself out with the sea salt, the Epsom salt in the bath water, and I had a couple beers to relax. I didn't drown, so everything's good.
I was going to say, oh.
Right.
So what was the one thing you learned from your experience at this convention?
Oh my God! Network it's the same thing we've always learned.
Networking is
alive. That networking in the paranormal field, there is a major shift. There is people out there who really want to work together, who want to get to know other people, who want to share evidence, who want to discuss theories and ideas, who want to do it on a very, very calm, very rational, very supportive level. That the whole bullshit with the ones that want to be on TV and stuff, everybody knows who they are. They all know who they are and what they're trying to do, and they're pretty much just let them go and do their thing. That's what they want to do. Let them. The rest of us are going to work. We're going to put our heads down. We're going to talk. We're going to communicate. We're going to share ideas. We're going to share theories. We're even talking about doing an investigation on the same night that the Yates are out in Arizona. And what we're going to do is they're going to have a lot of this is caught on electronic voice phenomena and all that stuff, that we're actually going to have them call in, put our phone on speakerphone, and have them ask the questions while we do the session. We're just going to leave the room and let go for 10, 15 minutes and put a digital recorder in there and see if with it coming through the phone, so like that, does it change the way that the session goes? Does it change responses?
Yeah.
Just Silly like that. Why not? What if something does come up better? What if it doesn't?
Yeah.
Piece of shit. At least we tried. They're all about trying new things and stepping outside the realm of, well, this is a ghost. Prove it's a ghost. You can't prove it's a ghost.
Yeah.
You had an experience. You can't prove what it is. How do we get that point? and data collection, big time. That was one of the things we talked about, and a lot of people talk about how we're not collecting the data. We're collecting evidence. We're collecting audio and video, and we're going through it. We're taking out the bits and pieces that we want. But what was it? What was the temperature? What was the barometric pressure? What was this? What was that? Did you log it? Did you keep track of it? How often did you recheck it? Every 10 minutes? Every 15 minutes? Every 5 minutes? Every hour? Or did you check it at the beginning of the night and that was it? Or did you just go to the news report and say, well, Dayton International was 60 degrees and it's 20 miles away, so it was 60 degrees here also? No, there's so much more going on. And that was the one thing that I said that I took away from it. There's so many people doing that's wanting to get more depth, more involved, and actually work more together and communicate and network. It's amazing.
Yeah, I have to say I've noticed that shift this year in the paranormal field. There's a lot more people coming together and talking and sharing ideas and not being... I'm not even coming across this, I can't share my evidence. There's a lot more people sharing their evidence and being open to what people were saying. I've noticed that shift this year.
Oh, yeah, and they were... several of them were amazed at one of the things that I've done more than one occasion. And some people were talking about, somebody to get standards in the field and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, until we start getting correct data collections, we're never going to get standards. Until we start actually being able to trust one another, we're not ever going to get standards. I said, in fact, to reiterate that, I've done it more than one occasions. We went to a location and investigated. I took my audio and sent to a guy that's got an audio engineering degree. And I took my video stuff and sent to a guy that's got a degree in cinematography and stuff. And I said, tell me what you find. I know, and I wrote down what I thought I captured. My thing is I don't care whether they captured the same thing I did or didn't. If they happen to hit on the same thing, that's cool. But they may tell me that I have nothing.
And they don't know where you are.
Didn't tell them where we're at. I didn't tell them where we went. Didn't tell them who was with me. I told them no information leading into it. They were just to review the evidence, and you tell me if you find anything that may be questionable or credible. I allow somebody else to do a complete cold review of my evidence. And I trusted them with their response. Once they come back and they said they found a couple of things that I didn't hear, when I thought I had something they could explain to me, and there's a couple of times they come back and said there was nothing at all that they could find that would consider to be evidence. Was I mad or upset? I thought I had stuff on there. Was I mad or upset? No, because I trust them. They are experts in their field. They're not experts in the paranormal, but the one guy is a sound engineer. The other guy is a cinematographer and all that stuff, and he's studied cameras and photography and all this stuff. He's got There's not paranormal experts, but there are experts in the paranormal field. There's people who know what they're doing with the equipment that we're using. Yeah. I have a guy that's been certified on FLIR. When we was doing some FLIR work and stuff, I sent that video to him and asked him to review it and tell me what he thought was going on in this, and if he saw anything that was abnormal or anything. And then when he said no, and I told him what I saw, he told me what was causing it. There was reflection off the tiling and all this stuff that reflected the heat and things. There are people that know what they're doing with this equipment. Trust them. Not one person can know every damn thing. And that was the theme that went over big time this past weekend. That whole thought of working together, sharing, networking, trusting one another, opening up to one another to help learn things. That's the direction that it needs to go. Mm-hmm. And it was reiterated this weekend tenfold.
It's great. It is really, really great when you spend time all with a common purpose, like a convention. I mean, we have them with not as many as you guys have over in America, but we are starting to get more paranormal conventions over here. And it is great. I thoroughly enjoyed the one that I went to, and I'll be going to more next year. It's definitely a plan of action over here to try and go to the few that are around. But because getting the like-minded openness going, and like you said, the networking, it's phenomenal. And people are so happy to talk. You know what I mean? They're so happy to talk to like-minded people in the field.
Oh, yeah.
But the biggest thing is people need to put their egos down. No matter what kind of evidence you have, no matter how good it is, somebody's going to question, what kind of camera did you use? Well, it was this kind of camera. I know what I'm doing. I'm not asking you whether you do or do not know what you're doing.
I'm just asking what you use.
I'm asking what kind of camera so I can understand more. Well, usually when people start asking what kind of camera they think they know more. Maybe they do. Maybe they can teach you something about it. That's the problem right there is and I'm seeing a shift away from that. I'm seeing people more open to have that corrective or what's it called? Criticism where
constructive
criticism.
Big word there. I couldn't think of all that shit. But it is. But you only get that if you're working with people that you trust. If somebody on the internet that you do not know blasts your picture, you're going to get defensive because you think they're blasted, because you can read anything into the words. You can read any attitude into the words typed on a screen. You can take it that they're being challenged. You can take it that they're pissed off. You can take it that they're making fun of you. You can say, kiss my ass, or kiss my ass. Same words, it means different things each time. So to have people actually sit down and do that peer review and peer thing with people you trust, and trust them. If they say they don't see what you see, or they explain something or can't explain it or give you another idea or theory, thank them for it. Learn from it. They might be right. They might be wrong. But that's called open communication. Right. That's how we change. That's how we progress.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, yeah. We've had quickly, because I know we're running out of time, there's been a couple of blue orbs coming up on photographs and stuff, which has thrown the community over here a little bit, until two friends of mine really looked at it, and it's only ever done, you only ever get this with an iPhone 6. And it's like to do with the lens thing.
Yep.
And so they completely debunked it. They completely debunked it. And people get really, really excited because they're going, it can't be just like a normal orb. It's a blue orb. And it's like, no, it's all been taken on iPhone 6s. So it's communicating with each other and, learning because of that. If I ever see a blue orb, I'll go, that's an iPhone 6 now. Do you know what I mean?
Because now you know.
Because now I know. Do you know what I mean?
And they're going to say, no, that was taken with my Android phone.
And I'll go back to those two people and go, hey, explain this to me.
Same type of glitch in another phone.
Absolutely.
It's all about the camera and the proximity of the camera to the lens and to the flash and all that shit. There's a whole much more into it. So the number of pixels and that, there's so many things that add into it. Was it using a filter, not using a filter? So it can be on several different types of phones. It don't have to be on just one. It's all about the camera and all that stuff. So. Anyway.
I know, but it's things that you learn as you go along. Anyway, I think we're running out of time, aren't we?
Like, why are you using an iPhone in an investigation?
Yeah, well, there is that point too.
Yeah, we are running out of time, and I do thank you guys for coming in tonight. Thank you, Kerry, for allowing me and Teresa to be your guest tonight. We do appreciate it. Dr. Dave, you've been a helpful host too.
Oh, no, you're very welcome. I really wanted to hear all about it anyway, so it did me a favor.
We got more to tell, but we won't tell it all tonight. We got less than 15 seconds. Thank you all for listening. See you next week.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.